Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Hello, happy bank holiday weekend and welcome to episode 218 of the Atom Radio Breakfast Show Best Bits podcast. Not only, by the way, is it bank holiday weekend, but there's one next weekend as well, 2 in a row, and one at the end of the month. So it's all happy days in terms of bank holidays this month. On the way, in the podcast this week, we talk about the emergency alert that worked for some and not for others, new job opportunities, but the top 5 of things that you spend too much time doing. We look at Gen Z versus Gen A. We uncover potential government fibs, and there's conspiracy theories doing the round on TikTok as well. And there's shower thoughts all on the way in the podcast.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Streaming from Slough loud across the net, this is Mark Denholm at Breakfast Morning, and welcome to Monday. The emergency alert may have only just happened, but it's already set to feature in a movie. The warning was part of a brand new government service set to warn people if there is a danger to life nearby. However, it is going to be in a movie already. In a real-life emergency, you will receive instructions, unless, of course, you've silenced it like I did. However, this whole palaver is going to be made into a movie. They must be a little bit hard up, I would imagine, on the film scripting at the moment.
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
We are today talking about things that could improve the standard of driving. I'm just reading Richard Brown's mind now, and I think the one thing that he would insist on for young drivers in order to help them increase their standard of driving is that at the end of every drive they should say, "Cheers, drive." He'd be happy with that. If they, yeah, that'd be his thing, wouldn't it? Cheers, drive. And then they'd be much better drivers, in the opinion of Richard Brown, a man known for keeping the nation moving.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
6:23, Mark Denholm at breakfast, Atom Radio. Morning, and welcome to Tuesday. If you're looking for a job and you don't mind travelling to Blackpool for work, Blackpool Zoo is recruiting for seagull deterrents. These are people wearing giant inflatable bird costumes to scare off the seagulls. One requirement is that candidates must be outgoing, as they need to be comfortable wearing a bird costume.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Have you seen Rishi Sunak's new escort that he has? He actually has police officers riding on pedal cycles, followed by police officers running alongside their car, much like Kim Jong-un does, the North Korean dictator. Rishi Sunak has now decided that, he'd like police officers running beside his car as part of his escort. I don't know, maybe it's just a display of small man syndrome.
Mark Denholm at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
And this week, the top 5 of things that you spend too much time doing stacks up like this. At 5, watching junk TV. At 4, cleaning up after other people. At 3, overthinking and worrying. At 2, scrolling through social media, and in this case particularly TikTok. And the top thing that we spend too much time doing is working outside of work hours.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
You know how we're always going on about how Gen Z, or Gen Z if you're American, are a bunch of snowflakes? Well, now there's the new one, Generation Alpha. They are the new kids on the block. From the death of working from home to an ambivalence given to the monarchy, there's a lot of talk about the impact Gen Z is having. However, now those born between 2010 and indeed next 2 years away, 2025, Gen Alpha, as the latest groups hot on the heels of Gen Z, with many expected to reach adulthood by 2030. If Gen Z are a bunch of snowflakes, what on earth are Gen A going to be?
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. Announced yesterday that 20,000 new police officers have been recruited as promised in the 2019 manifesto. I am wondering, though, whether this was like nurses, where Boris Johnson did say that new nurses were going to be recruited. However, included in the figure given were some nurses who were currently nurses but who weren't leaving. And that doesn't make any sense to me at all, if I'm honest.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Conspiracy theories everywhere. A Gen Z TikTok trend is urging women to quit the pill because it makes you ugly, fat and depressed. I don't know about that. What it certainly does help to do is stop you having unwanted pregnancies. I do know that, and if you are ugly, fat and depressed, maybe it may be through other causes.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
Psychology says friendship is not about who you spend the most time with, it's about who you have the best time with. Think on that. Next time you're spending time with someone, you're thinking, oh my God, this is dragging. Maybe they're not your best friend after all.
This is Mark Denham.
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
And today we're talking about shower thoughts. The study shows that we often think better in the shower and are more creative in the shower because when we take a warm shower, we experience an increased dopamine flow, and that makes us more creative. So there you go. That's where the phrase shower thoughts comes from. Today I want to know what has been your best ever thoughts in the shower on air at atomradio.co.uk. And I love this, absolutely love this. It says, please don't use my last name on this. But Paula, morning and thank you for your email. Paula says, I do a radio show on a different radio station. And I love your honesty here, Paul. You listen to this show and yet you do a radio show on a different radio station and you don't listen to their breakfast show. I love that. Probably because it's not as good as this one, but you know, you probably can't say that, whereas I can. Anyway, Paula says, I do a radio show on a different radio station, and quite often my best content ideas come while I'm in the shower, and I always have a piece of paper and a pencil near the shower, so I can just lean out and jot them down. Now, Paula, you and me both on that, except I don't have the piece of paper, and quite often I'm having a shower and I think, yeah, I'll do that on the show. And then all of a sudden I think, what was it when I get out? And I've forgotten.
This is Mark Denham.
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
I've just had a thought, and it's not in the shower, but it is about shower thoughts. And I was thinking, quite often I come up with ideas in the shower, and then by the time I get out the shower, get dried, and get to a point where I can write them down, I've forgotten them. Maybe, therefore, the idea is to get out the shower, realise you've forgotten them, get back in and see if the increased dopamine flow again can reignite those ideas in your head.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
At least now I know the reason behind why the shower is a creative and inventive place, even though it does annoy me, because in the morning I literally spend no more than 4 or 5 minutes in the shower, and that's it, job done. And I think of something, I say, yeah, that's a great idea. And I get out and I dry myself, and then I think, all right, what was it? What was I thinking? I don't get it. I don't know why it happens. Maybe I just need to spend longer in the shower to further embed it in my brain. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to experiment next week and get out 5 minutes early, and rather than having a 5-minute shower, I could have a 10-minute shower and see whether the shower thought embeds in my brain. Maybe. Happy bank holiday weekend to you. Monday is, of course, May Day. So enjoy whatever you're doing on Bank Holiday Monday and have an awesome weekend, including the extra day this week and one next week as well with the King's Coronation, which is next Saturday. Then you get the 8th off as a bonus bank holiday as well. Thank you as always for your company on the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, whether in your favourite podcast app or on YouTube. Check out the show live Tuesday from 6.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.